Welcome to my channel. I am your host Doodlebug, and here are a few rules for my channel so we don't have any confusion and headaches. Alright now, buckle them bloomers. Number 1. Sock or block. If at any point I want to sock you, I will block you. Don't take it personal. Many on here I adore now have been on this list, and we are friends now. It's my fight or fight response, and I'm usually over it fairly fast. 2. My corner. I say my corner because here, I am passing out information for free, so if you need a handout, it will not be on my corner. Go get your own. 3. No bashing people. We all have that one person we have issues with, but please don't announce your dirty laundry or your neighbors on here. If you and Fredia Faye want to go brawl and dust it up after my live, go have one heck of a time. Just be kind to one another, respect each other, don't ask for money. But go on ahead and hit that like because you know you want to. Thank you, and let's get started.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me this evening. Tonight, we're just going to talk about cases that really haven't been spoken of very much. And if they have, then maybe I've just been living under a rock. But from what I see, they haven't been talked about much. A couple of them do involve children. I warn you now. But before I play any of these videos, and I will share links to every single channel that I have shared. You know me, I don't really like playing someone else's, but this information needs told. So before I go on, I'd like to do this. This is a content disclaimer, which is actually the copyright disclaimer under Section 52 of the Copyright Act 1957. Now, the views and opinions expressed in this video are not meant to hurt any individual. I can't stress that enough. This is not meant to hurt anyone. We cannot be held liable in such situations. Now, exceptions are given for fair dealing, is what this would be, and under the fair use terms, for purposes such as fair dealing of any work for private or personal use, including research, criticism, or review. Well, obviously, I'm not going to criticize, but I am going to review a little of what they've spoke, and some of these are amazing. I think you'll be impressed. For reporting of current events and current affairs, and that's what this is. This is stuff that is current, so this does follow underneath our copyright disclaimer under Section 52 of the 1957 Copyright Act. Yes, that's a whole lot, but I have to do that. I apologize. Okay, so let's get started. This is sad. Trigger warning. It involves babies. I would like to just look at them. Are they not the cutest thing? Oh, kids just, I'm a sucker for kids and elderly. I can't help it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and play this. Buckle up. It gets rough.
Of a little boy who looks like he was going through hell. And that's because he was. The story you're about to hear is one of the worst cases involving children out of Arkansas. I'll take you through the investigation step by step, but be warned, it's going to get very hard to hear the details of this real-life nightmare later on in the video. But we're going to start at the start. Also, the names Blue and Taylor were initially sent evidence before they were released.
Said something about little boy. Was he with me?
I've used AI to clone those sentences back in. They're accurate to both the audio and the transcripts, but you might notice a slight change in vocal tone revolving around those names.
And she said something about the little boy Blue. Was he with me?
All right, so you automatically have to assume that you know how I am with this stuff when it comes to, oh, well, this is AI. I'm iffy. I'm not going to say I'm not, but there is some useful information in this video. AI has went too far in my opinion, but this isn't about me. These are about these children, so bear with me. And we're going to get this right, but trigger warning, please. If you have a sensitive spot and you cannot handle hearing about children being hurt, please step away. I will definitely be putting 18 and up in the description, and it will be on the thumbnail of this too. At the moment, I'm recording this, so it's a lot. So if it is triggering to you with child abuse, I definitely need you to step away for a moment. And as soon as this is over, please come back, or you can just try to forget what you heard in the beginning of this. As we go on, guys, please remember everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but this is bad. All right, I'll hush, quit rambling, and we'll move on. I just want to make sure you understand I'm not real big on AI. So when he said he used AI for the audio, I'm going to take that with a little bit of grain of salt, with no criticism. He's doing the best he can, but I'm just scared of AI.
The hours of police interviews have also been condensed and edited down. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ashley, what happened to your daughter? Why is she burn up so bad?
If it's bad things you do,
You know she was burned till you told me, sir.
they will repay you. You may not want them to, but they'll come for you and they'll grab you.
Allah said it so.
Bad stuff. Your word.
Just begin by telling me what happened.
I got a call from my grandma, and she told me that my granddaughter was in the hospital with a lot of burns on her and stuff, overseas. So she told me.
You guys know I have to interrupt to save my own. I'm kind of read this because the names Taylor and Blue were originally censored from these interviews. AI has been used to sub the sentence names back in for content. Nothing else has been altered. Words have not been changed. Yikes. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm not criticizing, but I don't know. I'll let you be the judgment. I'll continue.
Me to come up there and look. And she was dead. She had burns all over. She was just, and she was hurting her. And she said something about the little boy. Was he with me? No, he was. She'd be all right. We can take care of her.
Hold on a minute. I already have a problem with this. So this is grandma, and she knew that the granddaughter had burns, and I would be at that hospital with my sister have some explanations. What's going on here? Or what? This is calm. So, but so far, ever since the AI, maybe it's just me. Just tell me if it's me. I'm gonna hush after this, but I do have to interrupt for the fair use. But I'm in the hospital. I bet. I'll tell you what. I bet. But I'll be there. I don't know how I'm gonna be there. I'll be there and I'll be fired up. In my opinion, but then again, I've been wrong before.
So I told Grandma and Dad that I would find my grandson, you know. And so the cop at the hospital said if he found Blue, would call me. He hadn't called me, you know. So I got some of my friends and come up here. Knocked on the door, and the boyfriend answered the door, Nathan. And we asked him where Blue was at. You know, he said he didn't know. And, you know, eventually we got in the house, searched the house, you know, for him. And Nathan disappeared. And couldn't find him once we got in the house. And I tried to talk to my daughter, Ashley, about what happened to Blue. And she was telling me about Taylor in the hospital for the burns. And I was asking her what happened. She didn't, call an ambulance or take her to the doctor. He said she had an appointment with the doctor Monday or something. But I don't know. So I knew something was wrong because he just didn't feel right. And, of course, my friends would tore the house apart trying to find him or the baby. Couldn't find either one of them. And I kind of, had to get everybody out of the house so I could talk to my daughter alone to find out what happened, And she finally told me that it was an accident, she said. She said he was in the bathroom and he came out and he passed out on the floor and she tried to resuscitate him, but she had passed away and buried before her in the hallway.
What's your daughter's name, Mr. Childers?
Ashley Rowland.
God,
Ashley
no.
Rowland.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got everybody out of the house. This house right over here at 211.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Like we tore the house apart.
right. And what do you remember exactly? What you say there is?
I said, where is it at? If it's Ruth, and tell what happened to him. Just want to find out where he was at.
I know I have to interrupt, but I'm going to stay. She's very calm in this situation. My grandson's missing and my granddaughter's severely burned. I'm not this calm. I just want to stress that. I'm just not going to be this calm.
No matter what, no matter how bad it was.
Right.
It took a long time, but finally she told me he was gone.
And she said that. What's your grandson's name?
His name's Blue.
Is that a nickname or given name?
It's a given name.
Okay. And she said, did you say what night? How many days ago?
No.
But he got out of the bathtub and collapsed in the hallway. Is what Ashley told you? Is that correct?
I think she said in the living room.
In the living room. Okay.
Ashley Rowland never told her father exactly how long Blue had been buried underneath the floor of the house. But she did admit that Nathan was the one that put him there. Ashley also told Timothy that the day the 4-year-old died, he had come out of the bathroom and simply collapsed in the living room. As soon as Timothy Childers heard the news, he made everyone leave the residence and then called the cops. Shortly after the authorities arrived, they found Blue's burial place under a carpet through the hallway. One cops were on their way. Ashley, another woman who was at the house looking for answers.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning. I should have I don't know if I should put a banner up or not. I guess I should probably put a banner. I don't like this. I know it's horrible. It is. I'm so sorry. But this child cannot be forgotten because people don't want to hear what has happened to him. He deserves to be known for him. Blue is a beautiful child. He mattered then. He matters today. And as triggering as this is, he deserves this. And I'm just gonna play it. I know it's going to make many angry and they're not going to like it because it is so gruesome. But you know what? This child mattered and what has been done to him matters. This baby did not deserve this.
This woman's name is Rebecca Fitting. She's the ex-wife of Nathan's. She's the mother of Nathan's 2 children who often spend time at the house in question. Rebecca was able to shed more light on what it was like being in a relationship with Nathan.
All right, Rebecca, tell me to start kind of from the beginning on the events that transpired today. And
all right, it was about between 8 and 9, and a concerned friend had heard that a DHS worker was coming to Morrow. Now, this house that they were going into is my ex-husband. He had my kids Thursday night, and he brought them home Friday. I have full custody of him visitation. So she thought that it was my kids because she had heard from another person that there was a little girl involved in burns on her body and had her hair cut. And they were concerned that it was my little girl. So that's how I got involved. I called my ex-husband's mom because that's the only way I could get a hold of them. But she wasn't around them. So I asked her what was going on. And I said, and they're also looking for Blue, which is the baby boy. Me and Ashley, the mother of the children, we had spent some time not alone together or nothing like that. We went to like the graduation for my daughter for kindergarten, and anytime that they came and picked up the kids, she was there. Okay. So we were acquaintances. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to her and I'm gonna find out where this boy is. She knows he's lying because she's telling everybody that the boy was at the grandpa's house, but the grandpa was here looking for the boy. So I got in my truck and I came over here. Nathan was not here. So when I pulled up here, I started the door because the door was locked. The grandpa was in there. He unlocked the door. And he was like, no, just let me talk to her. Just let me talk to her. And I was like, no, I'm not going to hurt her. I'm not going to put my hands on her. Nothing like that. I'm not that evil person, I'm not going to beat your butt. But I said, just let me talk to her. She will talk to me. Because I'm a mom, and I figured mom to mom would be best. I have young kids. I understand. Sure. So when he wouldn't let me in any further than the doorway, I called her name. I screamed her name. I said, Ashley, come here. Please just talk to me. Mm-hmm. So she came out of the living room, came to me. Look, she told him, let me talk to Daniel. Just let me talk to Daniel, which that's my middle name.
Gotcha. Okay. You go by Daniel.
Yeah. I said, actually, come out to my truck with me. And the father was like, no, she don't need to go out there. All the people are going to jump on her. I said, no, they're not.
See, this is so confusing to me. So this is an investigator and everyone's saying like, oh, she's going to jump on her. What? Well, I mean, there should have been enough law enforcement surrounding that should not have been a concern in my opinion. And I'm not understanding that because in something like this, you should be surrounded with law enforcement, and they're making it sound like they're scared of this tiny woman jumping this other woman. That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe it will explain it. You guys have to just
They won't touch her because they're family. So we get in my truck and I said, Ashley, where is he? She said, she bowed her head. She started to cry, which I'm sorry. There was no tears coming out of her eyes. There was more laughing to me. It felt like she said he's under the floorboard or under the floor, buried under there. And I asked her husband. She said no.
What did she say happened?
She said he was coming out of the bathroom, and she said that she turned and looked at him and saw that something wasn't right. She was saying that his face swole up, then his body swelled up, and that he was foaming, and he just fell. He just collapsed. I stepped out because I really needed a minute. My kids have been, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I had no idea.
I'm a follow dude.
And so I just had to take a minute, and by that time, the cops had officially arrested her out of the truck. So when I asked her if Nathan was involved, she told me no. But my ex-husband was very abusive to me. He was very abusive.
How so?
There were a couple times that I thought he was going to shoot me and my kids. Okay.
Did he ever hit you?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're still there. There's a whole body hole from me being thrown doors.
Okay, now, you know what I'm going to say, and I have to do it because if you are in a national domestic violence hotline, this is the hotline. If you're in a domestic violence relationship, please, for your children, get away. These are your resources. I say them every time, but I know you can read. I'm not even going to say it. But if you're in this and you think you can't get away, you can, and you're worth it. And your children are worth it more. I'm telling you, save yourself.
In the closets, in the kids' rooms where he put my head through the wall. He choked me while I was sex pregnant with my daughter, and I completely blacked out. There was this one time where we lived in, I was wanting to leave, and he wouldn't go out. We would go out there and shoot because it's a wood and it had a creek.
Yeah.
And I went to pull the automatic back, and it chipped when it came back down. It chipped off a little bit, and pointed the gun at me, and got physically, verbally mad, like off.
So, you know, by
yes.
person.
It seemed like he had changed because he hasn't really been any meanness. We were our co-parenting.
Sure.
It's great. It's been really good. The kids haven't had any complaints or anything because I would tell them, hey, if there's anything that scares you or like that, you tell, and
Nope. If I'm with someone and they're abusing me the way she's saying, I am not sharing children with them. Take me, lock me up. My children will not go. Just saying. Just my opinion.
So far, I haven't had any problems,
Yeah, your kids haven't come home
No,
acting different, but strength bruises, anything like that?
no.
Okay.
After Rebecca found out that Taylor Rowland was in the hospital, she decided to ask her own children about the little girl. They said that Taylor was kept in her room most of the time and only allowed out to use the bathroom. They also claimed that they were better than the sick. When asked why Taylor's hair had been cut off, the kids explained that she had gotten bubblegum in it. But when Rebecca received images of Taylor in the hospital, it became clear the case.
Aww.
After all, bubblegum doesn't leave burns all over a child.
Love.
One of the last pieces of information that Rebecca divulged shows just how depraved this child's environment was and how desperate she'd become in the midst of her horrible treatment.
Recently, like just he said, having was out of Taylor the last months with banging her head against the wall and eating her own, and that they lock her in that room. I wanted that baby. I would have come and got do with me. Did you see this on TV?
I better hear next how she called Child Protective Services since she knew all this. I don't mean to do this. And I'm not victim blaming, or I don't even like mouthing anyone. But this right here, I hope that the next thing coming up is that she called Child Protective Services. If not, I don't know how far I can watch this.
You see this shit on TV, right? The crazy thing is I lived in this home. And my kids have been playing in this home, been staying here every other weekend. And I don't.
Rebecca has just told the viewing officer some disturbing information that is likely yet to fully off. Remember, this is all information she received only moments prior to this interview. This means these are details she's probably never a chance to say. I can't imagine what going through her mind that evening. You're hearing a mother realize that her kids have been stepping over the hidden corpse of a child that died under mysterious circumstances and went unreported in a house that she used to live in with her abusive ex-husband. Coming to terms with the fact that boys cracks that house the tears she's holding back. These are kids, she knew. I believe Rebecca would have done anything she could had she known they were in trouble. And yes, Nathan had harmed her in the past, but he didn't seem to have a major history of being violent with children. One can certainly be forgiven for believing that a past.
Nope. I wouldn't send them. I wouldn't send my children. Now, I'm weird, though. I'm weird, hover mom, hover grandchild. I hover over children, but if someone beat me like that, I'm not sharing children with them. I'm not going to trust that. I don't care how good of a guy he is at the next girl he's with. My children would not be there. But I'm mean like that. I don't know. Children always first. This is nuts.
Volatile relationship was rooted in a youthful lack of experience. It's true, people can change, and I believe Rebecca's husband has had. I don't think he changed for the better, but rather for the worse. I think Nathan just got better at hiding it. We're going to get to all that, but the next person the police interviewed was Ashley Rowland. This is her first of two very different voluntary statements, and I'm sure we're all real eager to hear with a little bumper sticker. Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Which was on better terms.
Actually, before we get started, things going. I'm sure you've seen cops and all that other stuff and nature and stuff. What's going on today? We can read you. That's okay. Okay. Can you read right well? Okay. All right, Ashley. I know it's been a really, really hard day for you. And I'm sure it's been a really,
real
hard
day
time
for her.
But what we need from you is just to know what happened. Okay. Because we know you have a side of the story to tell, and we need to know what happened. All right. Will you tell us what happened, Ashley?
I'm hurting from I'm looking for the accent. And my head's just splitting really bad.
Forgive me. I'm not feeling bad for her.
And I want to talk. I started with that. Had a real long day.
Well, you take your time. You're listening to your story. Okay.
Ashley, let's start from the beginning, okay? Let's just start a little bit from the beginning, okay? Let's talk about your day. Go ahead and tell this officer what happened with your day today, okay? Yeah, let's just start from the beginning. Let's just try to start a little bit from the beginning. You okay? Just take time. Mm-hmm.
It's like all friend fruits and I was just giving her some, and Nathan took his kids over to his brother's house so they could play with their cousin. I stayed at home to make sure she was okay. She's still healing. Allergic reaction that she had, I don't know how to explain it. It was swelled up about a week ago, still from it. Karen, and they said that they had to take the kids away. I didn't know why. I mean, I know I missed court yesterday because of the stupid truck and the battery wouldn't start. I explained to both her, the police officer, that she's still healing from her allergic reaction. I pick her up and it's, harsh or nothing. So I asked, please do not give her any mustard because I'm pretty sure it's because it was the last thing that she ate. But I don't know how allergic reactions work. I dressed Taylor, put socks and shoes on her and a hat, make sure she's warm. Her hair a few months ago.
these things called urgent cares and emergency rooms to treat stuff like that. I'm sorry, this just makes me so. Ugh, I've seen this so many times. It's just sickening.
She ended up, she was outside playing with kids and stuff and had instant one pull on her hair. I don't know why. I tried to save her hair. I tried to, not cut her, and he just kept pulling out. So I ended up patting about her hair so that her hair felt back natural. And I was trying to carefully tie it. Next thing I know, her grandmother snatched her from me and said, "This Lou, about her, and she listened to her about that, and not let me come with her." In the chat, felt like that. I wish it didn't have it. I wish that I could have prevented her hair from falling out like that and had something I could put in her hair from happen. I didn't know she was allergic. Yeah, I used to take care of her. Even though I don't know, I always loved her, always took care of her, no matter how hard she was trying to be on me. I don't know, I was like, she was not really a whole lot of physical violence for me, just, saying mean things to me, not doing what I asked her to. I tried to get her to do her schoolwork. She only did because I had to put her peeing on herself a lot, and the school wouldn't take her.
Okay, bull. I'm calling bull on this. Number one, there are schools for children like this if she isn't able to handle her bowels. This is ridiculous. The school wouldn't take her. A school has to take her. A public school has to take her. And they didn't send her to school because she was neglected, in my opinion. This allergic reaction, yeah, she may have had an allergic reaction, but there's a hospital that you can go to fix this. She doesn't even sound sad. She sounds like she doesn't want trouble, and she's trying to act like she's the perfect mother. Sick.
I couldn't understand why she was hating herself so much. And she just kept telling because her grandma always let her pee in the bed with her, so she thought that it was okay for her to be on herself and be changed. And I kept telling her, I said, "Hey, do this. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for your body. It's not healthy for you to sleep in your bed like that. I want to keep you clean. I want to keep your bed clean."
Anybody else come to your house today, actually?
Yes, sir.
Who was that?
Out of nowhere, just a whole bunch of people showed up. My dad was outside. Some other guy, I don't even know who he is. And I was trying to talk to my dad, and I was like, too many people. I have really bad anxiety issues. I don't like talking to too many people at once because I just shut down. I don't like too many people at once. And I didn't even get to say anything to anybody. And just, I know I had got a phone call about something, and he yelled out, and I was like, "What did you say?" He's like, "I didn't know what was going on." I was trying to talk to my dad, and I was at the pool. I don't know where. If I've always, I say I bounce.
With your dad?
Yes, I did.
What'd y'all talk about?
And it made me really upset that my ex and his mother, the person that I had my first kid with, was outside with his mom and his sister, and that really made me upset because they had nothing to do with anything. I haven't seen them in years. I just really made.
Spoke with your dad about her?
Talked with him about the kids, and I just got so them because being freaks me out, and her being not. She's been so as a kid, being she was born and then had, and I just wanted to show her, and she didn't have to.
Well,
Oh, baby.
nobody hate you.
I could do.
I don't do
This is sick.
Quick.
Why did he put him in the toilet though?
I don't know.
Because you said his hands were already out of his.
Yes, sir.
So he took his hands out. So he took him in there to punish him.
That's exactly what he did. He was mad.
And here's the other thing. That's not the first time he's probably punished him like that. No, it's not. Here's the deal. Okay, your daughter is in the hospital with major burns. Okay,
No, it was Burns.
It's Burns. You want me to tell you why? It's because Nathan is violent. Nathan is mean. And I'm just being frank now. I'm done. I've been in here for 2 hours. You guys have a wire, or maybe Nathan does. Well, it holds the girl's door closed where she can't get out.
No, sir.
Yes, it does. We saw it.
That is put there to keep Fancy from going in Lolly's room, tearing up her room while she's gone.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you this, though. You want to talk about Ashley? I'm at the point where I'm trying to protect this guy, because here's the you're the damn now. Okay, you lost a son. Children don't just get burns on their body. Does not happen. There is a problem. One child's deceased. One child's in the hospital, LeBonner Hospital, in bad shape. Do you not see that?
Yes, sir.
You know why? It's because you've seen that guy do some mean things. But you know what? You have to be scared of him now. This is the way that you are free. He drowned for punishment. Not a punishment. That's a picture. Your baby, 5 years old, drowned. How old is Taylor?
6.
Your baby, 6 years old, is over there in pain because of degree burns. They had to take her from Forest City Hospital, transport her to LeBonner. That's how bad she is. LeBonner is a burn place. A baby at 6 years old does not burn herself like that. You know what's the bad part? You know what to do. And that's why it's breaking my heart for you, because you are protecting this guy that is killing or has already killed one of your kids.
I'm not trying to protect anybody.
But you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not. I really don't want to.
Ashley, you have said 3 stories, and we finally got the truth after 3. Your baby girl is over there in the hospital. And I guarantee if I ask you what happened to your baby girl, you're going to come up with another story, and I'll be here for another 2 damn hours. You know exactly how he burnt her and why he burnt her, for the punishment. I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't a man. He is not a man. He is not a husband. He is not a boyfriend, and he's not a father. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is going to be my dangus to make sure he doesn't get out of these cells ever again, to not ever to hurt another child, another woman, or anybody, because he has anger issues. A grown man should not take a 5-year-old child boy and put him in a toilet.
Will his kid be okay?
You want him to have his children after he has killed your son and has burnt your daughter?
Oh, for
Ashley,
my
what happened to your daughter? And I don't want no BS story. I just want the truth right now. Why is she burned up so bad? When did she get burned up, first of all? A week ago. How did he burn her? What did you think she burn?
I didn't know she was burned until you told me, sir.
Ashley, you have seen that man do bad things to your kids.
I'm trying to tell you, sir.
Ashley, I know you're not.
Pause. 10 seconds ago, Ashley said Taylor received her injuries a week ago. Now she claims not to have even known about them. So either her name is Dory and she lives in the ocean, which is totally unfair, and they should be reprimanded. That's not very Jedi of them. And everyone knows this while interviewing the suspect. Bad juju. Ashley, get your story straight.
You're not.
Prison does that. You can't ever see you. That's how he stays there the rest of his life. Where he can't ever hurt Taylor again. He won't ever have the opportunity to hurt or kill one of his own kids again that you just said you have grown to love. I'm sure, like a mother, right?
Yes, sir.
I want you to tell me how he burnt your daughter. Right now. Huh? Bath. He drew hot water bath? Huh?
Yes,
and threw her in there for punishment? Do not throw this on your daughter.
Hey, look, I'll make it easy for you. I know she's been having behavioral issues. Okay, I know that.
We know that.
We know all sorts of stuff. She's been through a lot. Okay, all right. So okay, done. You don't even have to say that. He drew a hot bath and put her in it to punish her.
That is not so hot where 2nd degree burns. When you were there, was she screaming? Was she screaming? She was, wasn't she?
Stopped it.
Huh?
Stopped it.
I know you did.
You're good, mama. You can stop it forever right now.
Ashley's first interview concluded shortly after this. She maintained that burying Blue under the house was all Nathan's idea, but did state that she wanted her baby to be close to her. She doubled down on the narrative that Blue unsteadily walked himself out of the bathroom after Nathan took him.
Sick. This lady is sick in the head, taking up for the man that has hurt her children. And then she asks, well, how's his children? Good Lord, Gertie.
In there before collapsing, which makes zero sense because she previously stated his body was swollen up and seemed to be full of water. She also claimed Nathan never threatened her if she were to report Blue's death. Instead, she claims that she cares about everyone else so much and that no one ever cares about her. But she believed Nathan did. And that was obviously more important than the fact that he murdered her 5-year-old son by drowning him in a dirty toilet.
All right, Nathan. You seen cops before? On TV? Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm half asleep. I understand, man. I'm with you. So you heard Miranda rights before? And formality before? Okay, we're going to do it again. This is just a formal deal, okay? That's your name right there at the top. We're at the Lee County Sheriff's Office, 7:20 in the morning on 2020. Okay, you reading right? Okay, good deal. I'll start right here, and right there, and you respond. Okay. Before you must understand. Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent? Yes, sir.
Happen. When is that offered? Because I cannot afford one. I definitely need a lawyer.
During whatever time during the proceedings, if there's when the court say, okay, now's the time for you to have representation, or when you replace one. Okay. Do you understand that if you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have to stop answering at any time. You're right to stop answering at any time until you talk to an attorney.
Assertive.
I read the statement of my rights and understand my rights. I'm willing to make a statement and answer questions. I understand and know what I'm doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. The kind of if you're willing to talk with us.
I think I'm on right way on a lawyer. This is I've never been into what I want to do.
Okay, so he lawyers up. I'm not watching any more of them, but he did lawyer up. Blue was found in the house buried, or outside the either in the house, in the floor, under the floor, I believe is where he was buried, but I can't watch any more of that. That's sick, and they both need locked up, and they need it for life, because there is no way you can fix anybody that has any kind of issue like that. Next, we're going to move on to another one. It's still bad, but it's not as bad as that one. So I'm still going to leave the trigger warning up, just because to some people it is going to be very triggering, but this stuff has to be talked about. This world is not a safe place, and some people don't want to share the hard ones. Well, hard ones need to be told so people are aware and they're vigilant and they can protect their children. I mean, the main goal here is to protect our children. Here we go, guys. Trigger warning. It could get rough, but it is what it is. If I can get that to go. There we go. Let me fix this bigger, and then we'll go from there.
These are the last words anyone would ever receive from 14-year-old April Millsap. A chilling "I'm scared" text to her boyfriend that reads, "I think I almost got kidnapped." It's followed a short time later by this heartbreaking.
Oh, guys, I almost forgot. I have to do this. I have to show this. Content disclaimer. Sorry, you're going to get tired of this. You're going to know it by heart before it's over with. Views and opinions expressed in this video are not meant to hurt any individual. We cannot be held liable in such situations. Copyright disclaimer under Section 52 of Copyright Act 1957. Exceptions are given for fair dealing for purposes such as fair dealing of any work of private or personal use, including research, criticism, or review for reporting of current events and current affairs. Okay, guys, sorry. I have to do that to save my own rear end here, and let's go ahead and continue.
911 call.
911? Yeah, I'm fairly certain we just found a body along the mountain bike trail.
I think the last murder in the village of Armada was in 1973.
Michigan is a farming camp of Detroit map, but a million miles away from Detroit's big city problems and its crime.
I'm police chief of the village of Armada Police Department.
The village of Armada is tiny, just 1 square mile with a little more than 1,700 people. Its police department is as small as the community it protects.
There are only 2 police officers. There are part officers.
You're one of the full-time police officers in Armada, Michigan.
That's true.
It's a safe place to grow up.
I'm 15 years old, and I'm in 10th grade at the high school.
Isn't exaggerating when she says,
"I know each other." We corner, and there's a friendly face that you guys.
David Lichtenfeld.
And that is so true in every small town. We all know, if you've ever lived in a small town, everybody knows everybody's business. So I can totally understand with that.
Thought it was a safe place to raise a family.
In talking with people and being in town, everyone has always had a sense of, this is such a safe place, the kind of place where you don't lock your doors. I wonder, did you ever lock your doors?
Before this? Never. You know, you live in a small town because that's the kind of life you want to live. You think it's
Lock
safe there.
your doors,
but it
guys.
really isn't.
Life in Armada changed the day 14-year-old April Millsap went missing after walking her dog Penny along a popular jogging trail on a warm summer evening in July of 2014. Contact list asking if they're okay.
I text all my friends, including April and stuff, and April was the only one I didn't get a message back from.
Young Serena is not the only one terrified about what this could mean. When April's mother reaches the crime scene, the news is not good.
They described the clothes that April was wearing. That's the clothes our victim had on.
When I found out, I just and kind of numb.
Is there an anger within you, or is it just pain?
Mostly pain, but yeah, it's anger as to why this happened to me, and I try not to blame God for it, but yeah, why? It's why is the biggest question. Why?
She wasn't alone in her pain. Even the chief of police felt like he had lost one of his own. This was personal.
I remember when April was a little girl walking over to the bus stop. You know these people. You know everybody in town.
Who would savagely attack and kill a beautiful 14-year-old girl just walking her dog on a warm summer evening? The answer, shock you.
Boy, that apple never falls far from the tree, does it? It may skip, it may bounce a little, but I'm telling you, it ends up in that same tree, and that's scary. Oh, well, that's not suspicious at all, right? Oh, my goodness.
They showed this trial. The jury deserved.
When we got in there, we got that.
All right, because we have another one to watch, so I wanted to make sure that you got to see that he got him. They got him, thank goodness. But that doesn't bring that beautiful little girl back. How heartbreaking. I mean, we got to save our kids, guys. We have to save our kids. Have to. At all costs. I don't care what it takes to save our children. We have to save our children. Speaking of that, trigger warning, here we go.
He's a doting dad who worked endlessly to support his family.
At least you're paying attention.
She's a young mom dreaming of becoming a famous influencer.
Hey guys, I was asked to do a video 15 weird things about me. So, number 1.
But when the young couple finds themselves the victims of a terrifying home invasion, it sparks a dark conspiracy which proves fatal.
They had black masks on, black shirts, black pants. Every inch of skin was covered.
It exposes a dark conspiracy which proves fatal.
We have our problems, but I would never put through this.
I'm Elizabeth Milner, and thanks for joining us on this episode of Female Criminals.
I honestly thought it was negative. Right now is not a good time for me to be pregnant. Not to mention I was taking birth control. So I didn't think it could be positive. But it freaked me out nonetheless. And I had a
channel, she can help generate some extra cash.
Hey guys, I am at a tattoo convention and I'm going to get a dermal anchor piercing. I'm freaking out. So I'm going to show you guys how this ends up. I'm going to let you guys see my piercing.
You remember what the gun looked like?
Just let it focus on the guy.
Sorry, couldn't listen to her
You
anymore.
remember what colors, anything like that?
It's a black gun.
Okay. All right. And y'all were upstairs?
Asleep.
Okay. Are you doing okay? Do you need medical attention or anything?
He just slapped me in the face. If it's not a bruise, stuff. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. You got some redness on your face.
Look at her. Look up at me.
How's the babies?
Rolling back. They never mess with the kids. And he asked, "How are my kids?" He said he punched him in the mouth with the gun and said, "I ain't here for no kids, mother." And I think they might have knocked a couple of his teeth out.
Okay.
And they jerked his hair up and said, "Look at her, look at her." And I had my head pulled back. And he looked at me and he said, "That's the last time you're going to see her. And do you want us to kill her too?"
Hey,
And
is
he
there
said,
somebody
"No."
that can go with Coop? Yeah, is
I
there
never
somebody?
saw a vehicle. I don't know what type of vehicle they're in.
Yeah.
How many people were
He's here with
3,
me.
maybe 4.
there? Maybe 4.
Yeah, if he'll go up that way with Cooper just in case.
Like I said, I couldn't tell anything about them. I know there was a lot of them here, 3, maybe 4. I could be wrong. There might have been more in the vehicle.
Did you hear any
I heard,
any shots or anything like that?
well, I heard some commotion outside. And I know they were doing something in my my house because I can but
Deputies, she's able to free herself, and that's how she called for help. Though her call wasn't to 911, it was to her mom, which raises some eyebrows.
my neighbor over here, she helped untie me
How did she find out that you were a
because they took his phone, but they didn't take mine. I had mine hidden, so I was able to.
So he's got his phone?
No, they have his
Okay,
phone.
that's what I'm talking about. What's his phone number?
Staged. Still. Scenes.
I fast forwarded between that part with her because all she does is lie. The people come in, they take his phone. I mean, come on, lady, you can lie.
Really making sense of what she's telling me.
No, that's what. You know, there's more blood and because I mean, she's saying he got hit several times, pistol whipped or whatever, several times with a black pistol. Face wearing black shoes, no identifying marks on them.
You had no idea why somebody would have done this to her?
No, there was nothing out of the norm as far as I was aware. I want to tell them time my there's a bunch of fighting going on, but I can't tell who's who or what's going on. Just that there's other commotion going on, so I knew that they got it woke up. And then somebody that was dealing with him said, "Get here, get out here." And that's when he drove me over. Not far from the kids' bedroom. And I was praying to God right on. They never went over there and realized there was any kids in the house. They didn't tie my legs together until right before they left me there. Right before I had to wobble over to get my phone because they were forcing me to walk. And
does not make you guilty. But what's going to make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in here.
But if that is the case, then I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope. You sure don't. No, that makes. That's exactly what that makes you.
the only other thing,
Okay. See, I know. You know I'm not here.
Come on,
You
spill
know
it,
I
lady,
know.
spill it.
the only other thing I know, I don't even know. I know
Okay.
that it's suspicious.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in the hospital with my friend Charlotte.
Okay.
I said this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, my life will be a lot of danger.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is venting to her and talking to her about problems like I just told you. I have a problem talking to my friends about.
Lord have mercy. Has anyone else seen a show so good? Lord, she needs some help. I've almost said she needs some milk because I've been playing games with my kids. But come on, lady, just get with it. I mean, obviously they know.
Our problem. I don't have when I my friends, I want to know any problems we might have had. And honestly, lately it hasn't been many.
Okay.
We have had problems in the past, and I hadn't seen Charlotte in a long time.
Okay. I'm with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he's talking about how a man should walk away and how you don't do those things. He's going to deal with the situation.
Blackmailing here with John. There's John. And they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. That's all.
That's what everybody calls
Just confirmed the real names of Jojo and Tay. Jojo's real name is Jose Ponce. Tay's real name is Octavius Rhymes. Both were recruited by Jonathan. They originally intended to plant meth in Ernie's truck to set him up for a drug bust. However, the group, including Samantha, believed murder would be easier. At this point in the interrogation, Samantha appears unsure if her husband is dead or alive.
One of the things we need to also realize, we don't know for sure if he's alive or dead at this point. We're still trying to find him. But for instance, if we do happen to find him and he is deceased, they do an autopsy, they're going to be able to tell us what the time of death is. So I need to make sure that the time
I gave you is
time
exact.
frames that you're telling me when these guys busted in your house.
The time I gave you is exact.
Investigation. Deputies locate and arrest Jonathan Stanford and Jose Ponce right as they were leaving the Titus County Regional Hospital, while Octavius Rhymes is arrested nearly a week later on February 26 of 2015. What the suspects reveal to investigators is their worst nightmare. There was no saving Ernie. Through the information they gathered, investigators learned Ernie was taken to a remote location southeast Lone Star Steel Mill in Camp, Texas. He was taken to the woods and executed. Investigators say it was Jose Ponce who pulled the trigger, and the shot entered the back of Ernie's head. But all the suspects, including Jose Ponce, Octavius Rhymes, Jonathan Sanford, and Samantha Wolford, are charged with murder and kidnapping. Jonathan and Jose would never face a jury of their peers. Both pled guilty to murder and kidnapping and are each handed down a 50-year sentence. However, Octavius rolls the dice and takes the case to trial. He's convicted of aggravated kidnapping and receives a 23-year sentence, plus 75 years for the murder charge. Samantha also takes her chance at jury. Will pay off on September 14th of 2017. More than 2 years after Ernie's murder, Samantha Wolford is found guilty of murder and kidnapping. She receives the harshest sentence of the group, 99 years in prison. According to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Octavius Rhymes will be eligible for parole in August of 2026. Jonathan Sanford, Jose Ponce, and Samantha Wolford will be eligible for parole in 2040. Samantha Wolford is serving her sentence in a prison in Gatesville, Texas. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Female Criminals. I'm Elizabeth Milner, and we'll see you.
My Lord. I know this has been wild, guys, but we have one more, and I don't want to play this, but it needs talked about. I mean, there's so many cases that nobody wants to cover because they're hard, and I completely understand that. But I feel like it's out of respect for the victim that we do play the hard ones if you can mentally handle it. Now, I have experience in this, so I can understand. Not that it doesn't bother me. Of course it does. It's going to bother anyone, but it doesn't bother me quite as much, probably, because I have worked with children.
Studying, of all things, mortuary science. A kid whose own mother would make a call that would change everything.
He did it, and he gave me details, and her remains are.
What Austin Sigg told police revealed a darkness that had been building for years, a fascination with death, a descent into violent pornography, and a
I am a monster for what I've done. I am I couldn't find a better word to describe evil than exactly what you say evil.
Jessica Ridgway was 10 years old. She lived in Westminster, Colorado, a suburb about 20 minutes northwest of Denver. Her family described her as bright, happy. She loved school, and her favorite color, purple. Her grandmother said she was shy. She was quiet, the kind of girl who would rather stay home with her Monster High dolls than wander off.
She's probably a solitary child. She doesn't make friends. I mean, she has friends, and but she's not the type that, she's not a real expert. She usually kind of just goes straight to school, straight home. She likes to watch Disney. She likes to play with Monster High dolls. She likes to ride her scooter, but she knows to stay just on our street.
On October 5th, Jessica woke up as she did on any other school day. Her alarm went off at 7:45. Her mom, Sarah, had just arrived home her shift. Sarah heard Jessica's alarm, went upstairs, and told her it was time to get up. Jessica came downstairs, watched a little TV, ate breakfast, peeling an orange for a snack. It had snowed the night before, so Sarah told her to bundle up. Jessica wore her black puffy jacket, pink lining, black boots, little pom-poms, 2 different color socks, neon green and neon pink, and she had her purple glasses and a backpack, light gray with pink flowers. Around 8:25, she walked out the front door. Sarah watched her cross the street, start walking toward her friend's house. That was the routine, always the routine. Sarah closed the door, went upstairs, and went to bed since she had just finished that overnight shift.
Well, this afternoon, I kind of got up and I went to the bathroom, and then I heard the phone ding, so I went straight downstairs and picked up my phone.
So that doesn't stay next to your bed?
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can actually get some sleep?
Yeah. Some
Okay.
school keeps calling me.
Who?
Some school because I want to go back to college, so some college keeps calling me every day. So.
Okay, so you heard your phone ding, and then what?
And then I went downstairs and saw that the school had called and left a message. So I picked up the message, and they said they needed to talk about Jessica not showing up at school. And so that's when I left. I left and went over. Well, I tried to call her from our house phone, and nobody answered. So I left the house and went to his house and banged on his door, and nobody answered the door. So I went up to the school and was going to go talk to the people at the office. And nobody was at the office.
Jessica never made it to school, but Sarah Ridgway didn't see that call until around 4:30 p.m. after she had awakened. Sarah started calling around her friend's house. No answer. She drove to the school, but the office was closed. She drove back to the friend's house, pounding on the door. She rang the bell, but nobody answered. So she called 911.
911, what is the address of your emergency? Okay, what's going on there? My daughter's missing. I guess she never made it to school this morning. How old is your daughter? She's 10. Okay. Could she be with a father or anything like that? No, her father's in Missouri. I hope he is. Okay, what's your daughter's name? Jessica Ridgway. R-I-D-G-W-A-Y? Yeah, R-I-D-G-E-W-A-Y. Okay, and what's Jessica's birthday?
She came home. She was like basically right there on the doorstep after I told her to get home.
And then what did you all do when she got home?
She stayed there, and I went with my dog to go to
Y'all put your rubber boots on because it gets deep.
the park into the field up towards Jessica's school.
Okay, did she call 911?
I would think so, because when I got back to the house, everybody was there.
Okay, but you didn't see her call 911?
I didn't know.
But Jessica had been scared before. Her Aunt Rebecca remembered a day weeks earlier when Jessica came home upset. She had been at the park and there were people there just standing and watching.
She said there were some people standing at the park that were just like standing there by the tree, and it made her nervous, so she came home. That was like 3 weeks ago.
Then 2 days later, on October 7th, a break. Jessica's backpack was found on a sidewalk in Superior, about 6 miles from her home. Inside were her clothes, her orange, her purple glasses. And detectives knew it then, the tragic truth. A child did not leave her glasses behind. Jessica's grandmother tried to make sense of it.
This is not like her. I pounded into her head since she was little, not to get in cars with strangers, so I don't think she would do that. I mean, in my mind, I think maybe she started off towards school. She missed, so she went heading on to the school too. She got to school late. Probably 5-10 minutes for just around. And I went back.
This dang sicko.
And I got back in my car after like the 10 minutes walking around, and I went. I don't remember which way I went. I just remember I wound up finding a place over in her neighborhood where I could park where a car really wouldn't be noticed by anyone, just somewhere where all the fences were. And because I mean, while I was driving, I was just kind of looking, and I saw her, and I found a place to park, and I parked and I waited. When she walked by, I grabbed her. It was random place, random time, random everything. She screamed, and I told people, and I used zip ties to zip tie her hands and legs in the car, and I drove her around. Probably 10-20 minutes to ask her phone.
See, guys, it's that easy. You just don't realize it. You don't have any idea when you're letting your 10-year-old walk to school or your 10-year-old walk to the neighbors that your 10-year-old's going to make it to the neighbors. This is not that kind of world anymore. And that's the scariest part and why I bring this to light. There are no safe places. Everyone says there is, but at the end of the day, there's evil everywhere. If you think that your neighborhood is safe, think again, start paying attention, look around to detail. No place is safe, unfortunately. But we just have to stay vigilant and protect our babies. That's all we can do.
looked for that. She kept asking me questions and she would answer them and lie to her and tell her that everything was going to be okay. And I would just lie to her.
In the car, Jessica held a snowball in her hands the entire time. And when Austin finally cut the zip ties off her wrists, her hands were cold and red. Inside his bedroom, he sat with her, played Netflix, fed her pizza, and he told her that everything would be okay. And then it wasn't.
From there, I let her out of the back of my car. I took her up to my room. And I sat her in my room and I played Netflix on the TV for her. It was either like Family Guy or something, some cartoon. Just kind of sat there and absolutely nothing. And I sat and I cried in the bathroom for I don't know how long. After that, in an attempt to hide what I had done, I began to dismember the body in the bathtub.
Two or three times before Jessica, he would drive until he used a quarter tank of gas, just looking for someone smaller than him, someone he could overpower. But to understand how a teenager gets to this point, you have to go back even farther. Austin told investigators it all started with a porn engine. At first, he said it was normal, and then it escalated. He started watching more violent stuff, bondage, rape, snuff films. And the more he watched, the more he said it took to get the same rush.
So when does it change? When does it start?
I just want to say that sounds like somebody else that we know that is serving life sentence for the rest of his life. I do believe 4 of them. So I'm just saying stuff like that adds up. Whether you believe or you don't. I mean, at the end of the day, this guy cannot be fixed. There's no way to fix this.
Understand that you're talking about just an addiction to it. I mean, what you're talking about, if not once a day, multiple times a day, and you're masturbating to this kind of pornography.
Yeah.
Okay. So when does that change? What is it that changes? Describe to me what you've seen in detail. Describe to me what it is that you've seen.
Like bondage. I've seen snuff films. I've seen.
So describe that to me. Exactly what are you talking about?
Like, it just at some point it switches.
Sorry, I'm not listening to that.
I don't know where it is, but at some point they find just enough of a middle ground.
When detectives asked if he ever felt controlled by outside voices, he said no. The decisions were all his, and he says he's exactly the monster that they think he is.
So you never felt like you were being controlled by anything or anybody? The decisions you made were decisions you made on your own then? Your own free will?
I'm afraid so. I wish to God there was some excuse.
And yet, as criminals do, he sits there and says this whole conversation, confesses every detail, and never once asks for a lawyer. One of the best criminals right there. Wow.
That I could think of, like mental illness or something that would explain the behavior.
What do you think society would think about what you did to Jessica?
I don't know about society because I've never really been that great with it, but I know that personally, I am a monster for what I've done. I am the.
Oh, looky there. We can actually agree on something. I can agree with this guy. He's a complete monster. Absolute damn monster.
I couldn't find a better word to describe evil than exactly what.
So you say evil?
Evil, yes. The whole reason I was even had any strength to tell my mom to come down here is because I know how wrong it is, and I know that that I did, and the only kind of I guess solace, or I don't know how to explain it. The only kind of in order for the Ridgway family to have any kind of closure, they had to see whoever did this. brought to justice. And so, yes, I'm
Do you think-
aware that this is
Do you think, Austin, that that's something that you deserve, is justice?
me.
Yeah. I mean, you brought the term up. You said for them to seek justice. What do you mean?
Because, I mean, they've been using that term justice for Jessica on here so much. But
You're talking about punishment.
Honestly, I don't know because I don't know the Betrayed family, but the only thing I know personally is that to have to live with knowing that someone like me is out still going around and whatever. And I mean, I have no intents on attacking anybody after Jessica. I realized that everything I'd ever thought, anything that I'd ever, any ideas I had about, like you said, that sexual fantasy, I guess, were so wrong.
In November 2013, Austin Sigg stood before a judge. He pleaded guilty to murder, kidnapping, and attempted kidnapping. In exchange, prosecutors took the death penalty off the table. Austin Sigg was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 40 years. But the questions from that interview room remained. How does a teenager become capable of such evil? Was it the pornography, the isolation, a mind that maybe already leaned toward the darkness? Or was Austin Sigg right when he called himself a monster? Just simply someone beyond explanation and beyond help.
This is my baby, my grandson, and he's always been the sweetest boy in the world. And I know you've heard that before, probably. There's no way I didn't know.
You really think in that?
In my heart of hearts, I really do. And especially the way they're acting. I mean, again, maybe I'm just crazy, but I'm a mom. I know how much that would devastate me, especially since Austin was always her favorite.
For the family of Jessica Ridgway, the answer was simpler. Their daughter was gone and no explanation could ever bring her back. But they made sure she would never be forgotten. In the years following her death, the community came together to honor her memory. A playground was built at her school. It was a place where children could laugh and run just like she once did. A memorial garden was planted in her neighborhood where her family could come to remember her. And on what would have been her 11th birthday, January 23rd, 2013, the city of Westminster dedicated a park in her name. Jessica Ridgway Memorial Park stands today on the corner of 108th Avenue and Sims Street, just minutes from where she lived and just minutes from where she was taken. It is a place of purple flowers, her favorite color, a place where the community gathers every October to release balloons and light candles. It's a place where a 10-year-old girl, bright, happy, and shy, is remembered, not for how she died, but for how she lived. And in a park built in her name, her spirit lives on. And that's it for the episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next.
All right, guys, I do believe that is it. I want to thank everyone that's here listening with me tonight. This, like I said, I don't know. I just think these are crimes that nobody wants to speak of because they are hard and they're gruesome. But you know what? They have to be told because these monsters can't just hide. We can't just let them be hidden away because they're monsters. They have to be punished. With that being said, guys, God bless you all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you sleep well, feel loved, and God bless you. I wish you the best day, the next day ever. All right, guys, until next time, goodbye.
Story leaves a mark. We are the ones who won't forget. The fight for truth is not done yet. We shine the light, we raise the call. For the missing, the broken, we stand tall. For justice, for healing, for every tear. We carry their names, we keep them near. Doodlebug's voice, loud and clear. Advocate, reveal, we